Welcome back to the Joe Show. The last song you heard was Carry the Weight by Sweet Talk. We are here with Jackson in the radio station tonight. Jackson, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Joe?
Doing great. So tell me about yourself. Where you from?
I'm from the town over in Appleton, and well, I don't know. I've been in mostly Wisconsin my whole life, but I don't know. I'm just a guy. I swear. There's nothing more to it. I'm a composing student at UWGB though.
What brings you to Green Bay campus?
Um, the honest answer, it has a great music program, but it's also a very cheap program, which is I don't know, it's quite nice.
Yeah, very affordable, but also quality
Yeah,
content.
exactly.
Yeah. So like what instruments do you play as an artist?
Um, for the university, I play like violin and bass guitar and piano sometimes, but as far as like artistry goes, I can play almost anything except for like woodwinds. I haven't gotten the flute down, and though a couple of very nice friends have been trying to teach me, and maybe one day.
Do you have a favorite of all those instruments?
I think maybe piano might be. I don't know. That sounds basic. Maybe bass guitar, because I don't know. One thing that I love about instruments is like how versatile they can get. Where bass guitar you can do incredible. Same with regular old guitar. That's nice too. Same with piano. I don't know.
Just like them
Piano.
all. Piano. So what inspires you to like make your music that you make?
Um, ooh, I'm not really a artist that works from like inspiration. So I don't know. Like um I don't know, what's like the romantic thing of like, oh, the nature and the trees are so beautiful. I need to capture this in a painting or so, but I'm not like, oh, the bird's song is so amazing. Like, I must, create this for flutes or whatever. Um, I like just exploring like concepts and connecting them together, like seeing what I can do with like I don't know. Literally, I'll just try to think of a way that I can work something or a weird device that I can connect to another device, and um, I really like the craftsmanship of music. Let's say I like the when it's viewed as a craft, you can really like do anything with it. It's very cool.
Do you feel that as like being a composer that like you really just make anything like that? Like you can
Yeah,
just make anything into music?
yeah. Like I mean, yeah. Like I don't know. I would hate to I mean, it's funny. I think some of the like one of the pieces that I offered to showcase on the show is like a direct like me being totally hypocritical about what I'm about to say, but but like I always uh whenever I'm writing stuff, it's always like I would hate to write about something. Let's say like I would hate to write about like summer or like have to like I'll give you an example. When you like title the same piece spring that you would title like you know dogs fighting, then people would be like, oh, the flutes are the birds and the wind is the like the strings. If it was named spring, but the exact same piece named like dogs fighting, it would be like, oh yeah, the aggressive horns and the strings and the percussion must be like all the fighting and biting and stuff. It's like then my whole point is like people always look for like they never are able to create their own things with music. Like music isn't like a tool for them anymore. It's more of just like something that they're made to think of. And I would hate to do that to someone. I would hate to write something and be like, this is spring embodied in music, and then tell everyone and be like, spring, spring, spring. Meanwhile, they could have just made a fantastic, I don't know, like a star landscape in their mind or so. If they wanted to do like imagery stuff, or they could have like why relinquish what they're able to enjoy the music with.
Yeah, I just want people to just enjoy it and get like their own experience and
Yeah,
have their own thought behind it instead of you just telling them this is what you have to. listen
Yeah.
to and what it is.
And it's like the process of it as far as like creation is like that kind of like connecting devices together and seeing what I can do with it. And I think even like I don't think that process stops as far as performing it or even listening to it. I feel like the entire way people are always creating new things with it. So in that way, I like to keep it as art and less as like, like a representation of something. I like to keep it as like something that can be molded and used like a tool, I suppose, rather than like a portrait.
Yeah, for sure. For now, we'll turn it back to some more local artists. What do we got coming up next, Grace?
All right. First, we've got, let's see. We've got Say It by Broken Arrow coming up next, and we've got more music on the way as well here on Radio GBX.
Welcome back to the Joe Show. The last song you heard was Heat by Broken Arrow. We have Jackson here on the air with us today.
Hello.
I'm going to pass some questions along to my co-host Grace here for you.
All right. So it's time for my segment with the fun stuff.
Awesome.
I changed it up compared to the last couple shows that we've done. So this is a new one for all of us. So, Jackson, if you were planning a dinner party and had 10 open seats, who would you pick to join you, whether alive or dead, and why?
Oh. 10.
Or we can do 5.
No,
it's okay.
It's okay. I'm trying to. First one, Prince.
Okay, of course, gotta have Prince.
It would be awesome. I don't know, for like 110 reasons. I don't know. Goodness, sheesh. I don't know. There might even be some like. I'm trying to think of who I'd like to meet. Who I'd like
What
to even.
about Kurt Cobain?
Kurt Cobain.
I feel like he'd have interesting stories. I don't know.
Throw him in there. Throw Kurt Cobain in there. I don't know. He seems like a nice guy.
Remember, it doesn't have to be people who are dead. It can also be like alive.
And they all have to be musicians.
No, they don't have to be. If they want to,
Okay.
if they want to be, if it's a philosopher or if it's a writer, it can be anybody.
No, I know. Oh.
Your best friend.
So
Yeah,
true.
you want your
Could
best
be-
friend?
Could be my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sheesh. I don't know. I got a real cool. I'm trying to think of like non-boring answers because I would be like,
Hey,
my friend.
it's your party,
It's
right?
so true.
So
Oh, I mean, number one seat. I don't know. I have a real good friend named Jazz, and her name is spelled like the music. She's got to
love
be
that.
there.
Okay.
I don't know. My brother and my sister are
Okay.
excellent. In fact, the whole family. So there's like 5 people there.
Okay.
So right, some people that are close to me, and then I don't know. I would love to speak to some philosophers. Like there's a couple French guys that I like Gilles Deleuze and Félix Guattari are cool guys.
Okay.
Goodness. Yeah, like I said, I wish I had more less boring answers because like who knows those guys except for like graduate students. But I don't know, like Arnold Schoenberg would be cool. He's like a music theorist. That's that's like 9 or so, and then Prince. Sure.
And Prince. Okay. Okay. I would definitely, if it were me, I'd add Dave Grohl to that.
Dave
I don't know
Grohl?
why. I don't know why. I would just add Dave Grohl. He just seems like a very interesting man.
All the Seattle rockers, although like
Yeah.
oh man, I thought I was gonna be cool and I was gonna name like the main guy to like Pearl Jam or whatever. But throwing some Pearl Jam guys, throwing
Woo.
Kurt Cobain, Dave Grohl.
We're just gonna have a giant like 100 person house party at this point.
I would do that. all the grunge guys. That'd be
Yeah.
so cool. That'd be endlessly cool.
On that note, so what is your favorite movie or movie soundtrack?
Phew.
My brain was thinking Star Wars along this route when I was writing this question because I just we had just finished. Was it Rise of Skywalker? Yeah. So that's where my brain was on that
No,
question.
that's cool. I love John Williams. Like, and I like Star Wars too. I think my favorite movie. Oh shoot. One of them I really really like is one called Somewhere in Time.
Okay.
Which again, I wish I had like answers that people knew, but it's a genre that I don't really like too much. It's a romance movie, which is It's not even a rom-com either. It's like a
Just
straight
pure romance.
No, it is drama and oh my god, I love that movie so much. But it's literally just like the most like all the actors are theater actors normally, and then they do movie roles sometimes.
Okay.
Especially I think Christopher Reeve he's like the Superman.
Okay.
But yeah, he's normally like a theater actor, big theater guy. All of the guys are theater guys. But they're doing this movie role, and the movie is so theater, and then they all get to play it up as theater. So I really like the movie because imagine if just like all the actors love being there, and you can just tell, and it's awesome, and it's a cool story, and it's like a weirdo, like I don't know, but I highly suggest it for Somewhere in Time. Then. I don't know, favorite soundtrack, I'd have a bunch, but maybe like The Adventures of Baron Munchausen.
Okay.
And then that's Michael Cale, I think, is what's his name? But yes, him. I'm blanking on his name. It's Michael K something, but his stuff is like he's such an excellent movie composer. Like he's made everything that's good.
Okay. And last but not least, so I'm going to tweak this question a little bit, but what is the best piece of advice another musician has ever given you, or if you have a favorite quote by a favorite musician?
Let's see. Advice.
It can be either or.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm just not a quote person.
No.
I'm trying to think of any. Like I'm trying to think of a quote. Like, do you know any musician quotes?
I mean, there's one that's off the top of my head. If people who know me, I love Black Veil Bride. So the lead singer Andy Biersack once said, "Stand up for what you believe in, even if it means you're standing alone." Something like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. Advice.
Or like, have you ever been to a concert and they have the talk breaks in between and they just say something super like lame and you're like, that just sticks with me. Like even like that too. Like that counts.
Yeah.
That counts.
Never give up out there, Houston. Woo. No, like I said, I wish I have an aunt of mine that's she does like cover bands sometimes, and she is like has always been this huge musician, and I got like she gave me good advice of just like yeah, like you really have to stick your neck out and stick to it and whatever, like you have to give it a shot, and then
Yeah.
she had a lot of advice on like everyone has their song, and then they want to they're like like, hey, that song's mine. I wrote, 50% of it or whatever. Like, I wrote 51% of it, whatever. Like, oh, you stole it from me. But like one of her big advices is just like, if there's any way that you can dodge any of that, whether or not it's like, hey, this is this person's project, or like, this is whatever. Like, she said like, oh, that's like the literal worst to deal with is like, like copyright stuff or like, so, as far as like know what you're walking into and know what you're trying to get out of it, I guess is some good advice that I got from, at least, like, I don't know. I hate business advice when it comes to music, but that's like the nicest businessy kind of advice.
No, I like that. I like that advice. So coming up next, we're gonna turn it back to the music for a little bit, and then Joe is gonna come back and ask some more questions to Jackson. But first, we've got Lisa from Motherwind, Emo 2 by Mubis. But first, one of my favorites, Georgia from Ditch the Hubcap, here on Radio GBX.
Welcome back to the Joe Show. The last song you heard was Lisa by Motherwind, here on Radio GBX. And we have Jackson on air with us today.
Hello.
So Jackson, describe like what is your creative process when you make music? Like, does it stay consistent or does it vary?
I'd say it stays pretty consistent. I mentioned it before that like a lot of my stuff is like I'll have like it's just kind of seeing what I can do with music as like a tool, whatever, and that like can result in I'll have like a really weird I really want to dodge like using a bunch of music jargon and whatever, but I'll have like some I idea in my mind where, like, I'll be like, oh, you can take this chord and move it here. And I'll be like, oh, that's a really cool, like, motion. What if I were to do that over and over and over and over and over and over? And, and then so, and then for my next piece, I'd be like, I want to include that in the song. And then finding out where that can, fit into, like, whatever project I'm working on, whether it's like, I'm getting an opportunity. Somebody's like, oh, write me a piano piece. I'm like, okay, well, I'll write you a piano piece with the chord that goes on and on and on. And, but a lot of my stuff is just like crafting these tools for myself and then seeing what I can use them on, I suppose. It's a little abstract, but
It's kind of depending on what people come to you and like what they like. You kind of base it around that. Like, you don't start with one specific thing. It kind of varies.
I mean, ultimately right now, I want to, write stuff for people or like, things that'll get played and whatnot. And then I try to balance that in with, I try to balance my opportunities of when I'm writing in with whatever, like, musicality I have on the mind. And then, I don't know. A lot of people view the artist thing of like, oh, it's, I really like the color red. I need to create a red song. It's like, that's not really me. I just... like it's more of like what can I do with this? Like, I'm gonna make the music in the music. I'm gonna see what I can do with it, and then what can I do with it for what's available and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, you're a composer, you're an artist, you even taking all these production classes. You kind of put it all around, well balanced. I mean, and you're graduating soon, coming up this semester.
True.
You have like any plans after that?
I want to try to get into grad schools if I can and pursue even more education. But that's it so far. I don't know. Like I'd love to like I don't know. I wish I had some grand scheme for you. Like I'd like to participate in more competitions, and then there's like plenty of getaways and whatnot where you either spend an amount of money or you're selected via your portfolio to go and compose in the mountains per se. There's like a main program. There's like one in Aspen that's pretty known for it, but you just go in the mountains or wherever you're going and you're with a bunch of like-minded musicians. But I don't know. I have a bunch of different areas that I'd love to do. Grad school's on my mind though.
Do you have any like grad school that you've looking to go to? Is like a couple in mind?
I got 3 of them that are interested in me out of the like basket of them that I applied to. Got Johns Hopkins, Carnegie Mellon, and then Bowling Green. And it's funny, the Bowling Green one is like a college town in Ohio, but it's one of the ones that I'm actually more excited about because it's way into contemporary classical. Like, nobody really knows it unless you're into the music, but like that's like the place to be for like just weird stuff. And then the other ones are just good schools, like the like Peabody Institute, Johns Hopkins is known throughout the world and whatever, and Carnegie Mellon is like also extremely well known for their like amenities available, which is what I would look for. I just want like more opportunities at my disposal.
I think it's pretty cool that like Carnegie and you said Johns Hopkins. I think that's pretty cool.
I know
that they're considering you. I think that's awesome. That's so cool.
We'll see if they like me. So far, I got through. God, it's such a crazy process to get into. Like art school is so weird because you have to first get all your portfolio stuff together and whatever, and then if they glance that over and they think you're competent, then they'll run you through interviews, and then if you do the I know.
That just sounds like a job.
It is. Yeah. And then if you like, can somehow pay for grad school. If you can't pay for it, then like you have to do even more interviews for say teacher assistantships, or you just be a TA or teacher assistant. And then or like fellowships and scholarships, you also run even more interviews for. And then on top of that, I think there's like 1 or 2 more things you can do as far as writing and whatnot, but then you actually get decided to see if they want you or not.
Wow.
So it's a lot more charisma than you'd think.
I mean, you've been putting a lot of work already. I mean, working on the projects for that too. I mean,
True.
You're going to make it.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
No, I really appreciate it. I'm trying my best out here. And, we'll see if they like me.
I'm sure you're going to get into one of them.
Thank you.
We believe in you.
I'm feeling the love, and I'm blessed, honestly. Goodness.
Do you have any other upcoming projects you're currently working on?
I recently finished two of them that I brought to the studio. I wrote a trombone quartet for Dr. Johnson, which is the trombone professor and one of the brass professors here. That I think it's gonna get played. April 27th, which is really really cool, and that's for the composer's concert. And I'm so glad that he asked me to write something for him. I'm completely honored, but that one is incredibly cool. And then I have a really big project that I also just finished, and then that needs preparation and practicing by the orchestra. But I wrote a piano concerto called the Love Letter Piano Concerto, or Love Letter Concerto. And that one's going to be played both days, April 24th and 27th, which would be awesome. I really can't wait for that one. Like that one, I way too much time, and that one was the one that was the hypocritical one of like, oh, I don't write songs about anything, but that one's an actual like, oh, this is a love letter, whatever. And it's just because I really like a girl.
Well, how about we turn to the first one?
Yes.
The first time here on Radio GBX. This is some of Jackson Evans' work.
Yeah, so we've got 4 trombones by Jackson Evans. Stay tuned, because then we'll come back and we will discuss this beautiful piece. Stay tuned, folks.
So Jackson, tell me about that song.
4 trombones.
That's right, the trombone quartet.
Yeah.
I was mainly just, I know all 4 players that are going to play it. I know their strengths, and so I was just trying to give in to what everyone can do. And if you're a trombonist listening and you're like, whoa, that's a really high part at times, you're absolutely right. But I'm writing it for a person that's specifically really, really good in high registers, as well as, you might say, oh, that's some like very low, that's, I also happen to know a very, very good bass trombonist that I know can handle it. So I don't know. I really enjoy the kind of stuff of writing for the player rather than for the instrument, because like, I don't know. It just allows you to do way more, in my opinion.
As I was listening to it, like over time, I'm like kind of like sending me into the like imaginary picture in my head of like Pirates of the Caribbean almost, because there is music in that movie that, you know what I mean, like that lower register and tone. That's where my brain was, and I like that. I like that a lot.
Thank you. I love that soundtrack so much.
That is such a great soundtrack. The movies do not get enough love.
I'm saying, I love those movies so much, and that's an incredible compliment, actually. I really, but thank you, and I was trying to like do that kind of driving force thing as well, and I'm glad that like that comes across. Well, I don't know, I appreciate that reception.
And that's the beauty of music. You interpret, with songs that don't have lyrics, you listen and you interpret that feeling. And I feel like that's kind of what you were saying earlier too, is that like you just play a song. You don't really know that there's no specific titled word or feeling to that. This is just 4 trombones. You hear trombones, and then you get to like, that's the beauty of it, is that you listen to it and you're like, what is my brain envisioning?
Right.
So that's the whole point you were saying earlier. Now my brain is like, big brain is tired. Now it's just clicking.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly, like, I don't know if I named it, I think like 4 trombones is kind of basic name, but
if you had named it like Pirates of the Caribbean related, people would be like, yeah, I can hear that.
Yeah, they're like,
exactly.
Okay, that's
right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's totally it. We're like, I'd rather the audience be a part of the music as much as everyone else be a part of the music. Not be, you get pigeonholed way too quickly if that was called like War Thunder. It'd be like, oh, okay, now I'm imagining war and also thunder. Or, a war and a rainstorm.
Yeah. What did you think? What were you picturing
from the beginning? Just like 4 trombone, just kind of on an adventure here, and just like, it just kind of take you away.
Yeah.
It sounded great already for the first time, and you hear it live coming soon too.
That's true. Yeah. The composer's concert is I believe April 27th at the Widener, which I think I'd also at 7:30 goodness, it's midday, but. Oh, I wish I had I think it's at 2 p.m. April 27th at the Widener. But it's also free to students, and it's going to be a really, really cool time. You'll be able to hear that one live.
For sure.
But that'll be absolutely incredible. I'm extremely excited. Like I said, I can't be thankful enough for this kind of thing.
Yeah. How about we listen to the next one?
Yeah.
All right.
Coming up next?
Yeah, this next piece from Jackson that we've got is Love Letter Concerto. It looks like concerto to me.
It's okay.
All right, so we're going to play Love Letter Concerto, and then we will come back and we will discuss that piece. Stay tuned, folks.